What's going on, everybody? I apologize for being late. I definitely overslept, and that includes my interview with Sharon Lapulapu. Sharon, I apologize so much. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right. Yeah, plus I think I got the times mixed up too. I keep forgetting that the Philippines is an hour ahead of Thailand. I don't know why I keep thinking we in the same time zone. These times I get these times mixed up, trying to remember the time between here in the Philippines and then back home with you guys. That was actually why I had this live scheduled a little bit later. Let me see. Let me go ahead and cam up, man. I apologize, you guys. How everybody doing, man? What's going on? What is going on? All right. So let's see. Global Passport Crew, Jamal. I am Alex Wood, White Knight Assassin in the building. What's going on? Bluff City Nerd, Zeus, Like a Dragon, Nathan. What's going on, y'all? I am Alex what, bruh? Me and you need to have a discussion. Me and you need to have a serious discussion. Um, yeah, facts, man, facts. I am Alex. What if you are watching this? Me and you need to have a talk, bro. Like something serious, man. Well, let me not waste y'all guys too much of you guys' time. Um, been wanting to react to this, and this seems to be pretty long, so
What did I get myself in?
I'm gonna try to keep it. I don't know. Let me see. Seems like because I noticed there are two parts to this. So, I'll see how this goes because both of them seem to be a little over an hour long. Um, I am Alex. It's not about you showing up to this live. What I want to discuss to you about is something completely different. It's off topic. Um, yeah, Herman. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I woke up late. I should have known better than to think I was going to be able to get up early enough on a Saturday morning. Because it's when it's nighttime there, it's morning here. Uh, but yeah, I am Alex. What I believe we friends on Facebook, so I'll reach out. I'll reach out to you, bro. We need to have a talk. Um, let me go ahead and connect this together real quick. Let's see. Do I got that up? Okay, cool. All right, give me 1 second, you guys, so I can share the screen, which is. Yeah. All right. I think we all can see that. Yeah, man. So I heard after this interview, everybody was coming up with this theory that these two are scamming, man. And somebody had an interesting take and theory about it. So I figured I'd take a look at this and see for myself. So we're gonna see what they talking about because apparently this his wife is all capped from what a lot of people are saying after watching it. So let's see what's up.
Welcome to Dear Future Wifey podcast. I'm your host, Terrace R. Whitfield. Listen, are you still shacking up with us? If you're still shacking up with us, can we get a commitment? Hit that subscription button and subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notification bells so you can be notified about upcoming episodes. This episode or this season has been coined Miracles and Manifestation. We've been believing God to do some amazing things. This episode is nothing short of God's miraculous hand. When I first met this young lady through social media, through some drama that she had encountered, I said, I want the opportunity to speak to her. And I just lightly threw that up to God. And a couple of years later, God would allow that to happen. Are y'all ready for this? Without further ado, welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. My new homie, Danae Jackson.
Hey,
what's
up?
going on?
Hey, yes.
Danae, you in here now?
I am in here.
You are on the yellow
I am
couch.
comfortable. I am on the yellow couch. You have treated me well since I've been here. Thank you.
So tell me, what made
And she don't got a bonnet on. Ooh, okay, man. All right, I'm gonna stop. Let's keep it moving.
made you decide to do this? I mean, it's a lot of people that come and they've been DMing you and trying to get you to come on their platforms. Why have you said no to all of them and yes to the Dear Future Wifey podcast?
One, because the Lord didn't give me permission to go on any other platforms. So I have to be obedient to him. And when you reached out to me, it was automatic, like, yes. And so here I am, being obedient to the Lord. But second to that is that I haven't had an opportunity to have a voice or to have my voice heard. It's been drowned out with all of the noise, all of the drama surrounding my life and marriage and all of that. So I appreciate you creating a safe space for me to come and speak about my truth, my life, and allow my voice to be heard so that others can be healed and made whole as I testify.
You know, on the podcast, we have a mantra. We say we keep it lit. We live intentionally and transparently.
Yes.
Are you going to keep it lit today?
Lit all the way.
All the way.
Turned up.
You and I have had some conversations in the pre-interview. We've been getting to know each other for about the last week and a half.
Yes.
And man, when I tell you, I've been blown away by your transparency, your vulnerability. You know, and social media had this way of trying to make you look like you crazy.
Yes.
And when I met you, I talked to you, I was like, this girl, not only is she not crazy, she's absolutely brilliant. So
wow.
What was that? What was that about?
Well, I think the world did not see me for so many years, so they have nothing to go off of.
Facts.
And so they're seeing me for the first time when all of this crazy stuff is going on. And then I'm sitting up here talking about Jesus, talking about a helmet of salvation. So it's like, oh, she has lost her mind. She is
cuckoo for Cocoa
right.
Puffs.
And I'm like, I'm saying I have a sound mind and I know what's going on right now because I've been delving into the word. I'm discerning the time that I'm in from a spiritual state. And now I'm trying to protect what sanity I do have with the word of God. So I think that's kind of what fueled all of that. They're trying to get a feel for who I am.
But you haven't always been a Christian.
No.
No. I want to take an opportunity to get to know you before we talk about what everybody wants to know, because like I said, I want to provide this opportunity for us to get to know you, Danae, outside of your spouse. Who is Danae?
Danae is a girl from Denver, Colorado, born and raised. I have some brothers and three brothers and a sister. And while I was introduced to Christianity and actually did have some roots in the church, I had to figure out that on my own. I had to identify with Christ and believing in him on my own. And so when I was younger, I had a belief in Christ, but I felt like I was doing it more so because that's what I was supposed to do.
Right.
You're supposed to believe in God. You're supposed to do this. And I'm very shy. I'm very reserved and laid back. But then at the same time, you can get a side of me that's very just like let's throw some spikes in your hair and just go, do something completely odd that nobody's expecting. So you kind of get a range there. And so that's me pretty much in a nutshell. Very reserved. I'm very loyal. Sometimes clearly to my own detriment.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit about me.
Well, when you say loyal to your own detriment, has that always been the case?
I feel like it has, at least in my adult years. Probably not so much as a child, but when I'm looking back on why that is, it stems back to a root of rejection and abandonment that I had. And so as I grew up into my adult life, I definitely would say it was more in that aspect. So
we think
y'all starting to notice a pattern of women who always say that the reason why they deal with or they stay loyal to particular men is because of abandonment issues. You ever notice all women use that excuse? I can't be the only one who noticed that, man. The Art of Will with the $4.99 super chat says strags who think they got the juice like Tupac usually end up like Bishop on the rooftop. Bars. I'm mad as hell, bro. Like seriously, the Art of Will, you should write that down. Like that's a bar, bro. That man said strags who think they got the juice like Tupac usually end up like Bishop on the rooftop. For real, that sounds like something I hear on a URL battle. Like real talk. It sounds like something I should hear on URL battle. Like real talk. That's crazy. Yeah, Jamal, I noticed that too. Thank you for that super chat, Art of Will. All right, you guys, let's keep it moving.
Think about abandonment. What do you go back on when you hear yourself say, when I think about the abandonment that I've come from? Let's unpack that.
Yeah, so abandonment. With my father, I had teenage parents. My mom was 16 when she had me. My father was 18. They never really had a relationship per se. They were just supposed to be playing video games.
They were playing with other things.
Here you go. Merry Christmas, right? Because my birthday is in December, a couple days before Christmas. So
okay.
Video games, here I go, the present. And so, you know, there's a little bit of rejection and abandonment there, right? Because I never really had parents that were a couple.
Yeah.
Right. And then in that, because of that, you know, there was some question about whether or not I was actually my father's or not. And so then I had that, even though I wasn't even born yet to receive that per se, but that still affected me because I grew up and found out about that. And then there was rejection. And then just the relationship that I had with my father growing up, I felt like he just wasn't as present as he could be, or he would always not come through or follow through on his promises when he said he would do something. And so that all affected me. And then boom, he died when I was 12. And so then, you know, I'm just left to try to figure out this thing on my own. And so there's abandonment, there's rejection there. And as I was younger, I used to be like a tomboy per se, right? And that was because I wanted the affection of my father. I had two brothers at the time, and so they were playing football. He was their football coach. He was involved in all their activities, and I'm over here, you know, just this little chubby girl over here.
You're chubby.
I was fat. I was fat, you know.
Fat little girl.
I was. My mom was in culinary school at the time, so she was practicing, and I was eating.
You was helping her pass her assignments.
Exactly. And so I would try to, you know, win his affection and his love by trying to be like a tomboy, like my brothers, like play football. I wanted to be on a football team. My mom was like, absolutely not. But all of that stemmed from my childhood, and then that transformed as I grew older, and then transformed into the relationship that everybody is interested in. So,
So did you deal with any type of childhood trauma when you think about it outside of abandonment?
So again, my dad did never follow really through on his promises. So when I would go over there, sometimes that would cause some issues between him and my stepmom, and then I would be at my grandma's house. And so
you say it's caused issues like what? What do you mean?
So they would just have like their little arguments or whatever, and I felt like it was always about me. But of course, I'm a child, so I don't know adult things at that time. But how I internalized it and what I carried with me is that, oh, this is about me being over here. Now I'm over here, I'm disrupting their little family union, and you know, my mom is over here, and I feel like maybe she's jealous of my mom or something like that, you know. And this is all going on while I'm a child. So this is what I grew up with what the capacity that I had. And so that was pretty much the main screaming behind. I was pushed down, and then, you know, there's that story of being raped, but everybody was upset.
You know, because me and her mom wasn't together as my daughter was matriculating through her adolescent years. And I was always like super like, who you dating? Who's this guy? I want to know. Like I was just on edge because I said, I just never wanted my daughter to ever have to experience that. And for me to have to experience that because I don't know how I would have reacted and responded.
You know, it's hard. It's hard when you have girls and a lot. There's interest there. I went straight into that without even acknowledging dealing with the rape. I pretended like it never even happened and got myself into a relationship unhealed. So
it's a perfect little balance of everything.
It's a perfect balance of it all.
And so when you first saw him, did you just see him as somebody that, oh, I'm interested in him?
All right, yeah. I think we finally getting to the part where I want to get to. See, the Art of Will 499 super chat said, I once knew a Caucasian woman named Pandora. When someone opened her box, she became cursed with single motherhood. Oh, wow. Damn. Yeah, thanks for that super chat, Art of Will. Global Passport Crew. Exactly. Like, notice I'm like, men, we don't have the luxury of blaming our own actions on other people, but apparently women can. It's one of the things I find funny. Yeah, man. So salute to AB, bro. What's going on, Frank Tate? I see you. All right, let's keep it moving.
Where is he pursuing you, or y'all start off as friends and it evolved to something greater? Or what?
So I actually was very quiet. Again, I'm pretty quiet overall and to myself, but he see me in class. I was a quiet girl in class, and he was like, "Hey, are you a model?" I was like, I used to do some modeling, right? Because I had all these pictures of me doing some modeling stuff from high school and all that on my little binder.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still having this high school mentality with all the pictures on the binder. So I'm like, this is cool. I'm going to put all these pictures collage on here, right? And so I had all that on there. And he was like, "What did you model?" And I was like, I used to do some modeling. And he's like, "Can you tutor me?" I was like, "Yeah."
So you wasn't just a quiet girl, you was a smart girl too?
Yes, quiet and smart, right? And I had these crazy braids in my hair that were not upkept. I had pimples all over my face. So it's like one of those classic movies where it's like that, the ugly duckling, smart girl in the corner, and then all of a sudden, look at this face, you're right. And so it was like one of those classic fairy tale kind of stories in that regard. But he asked me to tutor him. We met up in the library, and I'm so awkward. He's like, I'm sitting on the opposite end of the table, and I'm just like this.
You're talking about way across.
Yeah, way across. And I'm just like, okay, are you ready? And he's like, why are you so like stiff? Like, why are you sitting that far? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, it is okay to like be a little bit closer.
Had you not been in a relationship before then?
I had had a high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
And but it was I went to all white high school.
Okay.
So okay, let's put this in some context. I went to all white high school pretty much. There were some black people there, of course, but it was different than going to all black college. So
oh yeah, the culture shock,
right? And so
you said, where all this swag coming from?
Right.
These guys.
I don't even know what this means. Like, I don't know what that is. It's different in a more diverse or lack of diverse school. And so it was an adjustment all around. And so I had to get used to that because he introduced me to a whole new world of black culture. I got my black stripe going to Tuskegee and being in this relationship. So
and so how did it?
Like, is it just me, or does it sound like she was socially awkward? That seems the impression that I get. I don't know. Y'all let me know, man. But based on what she just explained, and based on the episode that she had with that damn bonnet on, yeah, she's socially awkward in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Based on what I'm hearing, that's what it sounds like to me. Let's keep it moving.
Did transition from you being his tutor to him tutoring you in some things?
That is good. That's good. I got schooled, okay, for years. No, we after the tutoring, we were having conversations nearly daily. Like the first 3 days, it felt like I know him for my whole life.
Yeah.
And literally, we were on the phone, sleeping on the phone, like those first 3 days, having all kinds of conversations. And it was like, oh my gosh, I've known you all my life. This is a fairy tale. I love you. You know, like when are we getting married and having kids? Like it was all
Were you
of
thinking
that.
this, or were you saying this?
All of the,
Y'all were talking about marriage and stuff.
Not necessarily marriage, but it was definitely
Having
like
kids?
I like you. Like I've known you my whole life. This is so easy.
Yeah.
Like where have you been?
Yeah.
You know, this is right here in this
19
moment.
years old.
Yes.
Where have you been all my life?
Exactly.
All the 19 years of my existence.
Exactly. All 19 years of my life. I miss you. I love you. This is what, you know, and so it was great. It's pure ecstasy. And so from there, we spent pretty much every day together. And about 1 month after just meeting, he asked me to be his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. So that was like our unofficial anniversary for years. He had this big old heart and he had his shirt off and he was like, will you be my girlfriend?
He had his shirt off?
Yes. He was fine too. I was like, yes, Danae, look at you. Everybody thought you were a nerd, but here you go.
That's what I'm about to say. What were people thinking? Here you were, this quiet little nerdy girl that you said to have pimples all over your face, but then you get the
doesn't match.
You get the sexy. What did he play football?
He did play football.
So you got the sexy jock. Like what was that about?
Fire. Like for me, that's what I was thinking. Like, listen, Danae, you have upgraded. You are coming into it, right? And so I think there was a lot of hatred overall.
Yeah.
You know, most people didn't say a whole lot, but I think there's a lot of hatred about it. And then it's like, it doesn't match because he is more outgoing and personable. And I'm just like, you know, the literally awkward Black girl that went to an all white high school. So there's a balance there.
What did he see in you? Because he had to have said that to you before. What did he see in you?
Okay. So he said that he liked that I was like smart, and of course he loved my eyes. And I feel like now, like looking back on it, I feel like there was a lot of compliments on like the physical attributes, as opposed to more of the mental and emotional attributes that I had. But then again, you know, we were in love after 3 days. So seriously.
So you weren't chubby no more in college, huh?
I still had a little bit of chub. I was in the marching band for a little bit. So I had slimmed down a little bit there, but I still had a little bit of weight on me, but it was proportion. I feel like, you know.
Because enough for him to like her.
Enough. Listen, he did not complain and I wasn't complaining either. So
Well, of course he wasn't complaining. I mean, it's pretty clear to tell that she knew she was punching out of her league when it comes to Derrick Jackson. Based on how she's speaking, you can pretty much tell. So no surprise there. See, the coldest Jenkins with the $2 super chat said she got cakes low key, tempting but poison. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, the way she got her leg crossed, I'm like, you could tell she got a little something that's fat back there. You know what I mean? Like my man Steffes Cole would say, I want what's fat back there. The Art of Will with the $4.99 super chat says the strags come out at night, the strags come out at night, the strags come out at night, the strags come out. The strags come out at night. Man, over here quoting old school songs, man. Oh, my goodness, man. Thanks for the super chat, Art of Will, bro. Thank you, Coldest Jenkins, man. And yeah, Tiger 9511, man. I'm right there with you, bro. That's the vibe that I'm catching, man. Let's keep it moving.
There's that.
There's that. 3 days we in love.
We're
Gonna
in
get
love.
married and have a bunch of kids.
Absolutely. Listen, I made him them peanut butter jelly sandwiches. He was, listen, you ain't going nowhere. White or wheat. I made white or wheat.
So
You like the crust on or what?
Yeah, you trimmed a little crust around the side.
Sure did. Real story.
Cut into a little heart and give it to him. This
Exactly.
our anniversary sandwich.
Exactly. I actually really did that. Believe it or not.
I
It's a
know
true
we
story.
all trying to do the best we can with whatever gesture we had at that moment.
Yes.
So I love it. I love that they call it puppy love.
Yes.
I love that moment. And so y'all were in college together. You were 19. Are y'all around the same age?
Yes, he was 19 as well. He's 5 months older than me.
5 months older than you. Y'all both 19. Y'all both in college. And when did it change from dating to engagement? How long did that take?
9 years.
9 years.
Yes, we got married 9 years later.
9 years later.
So it's a long time.
That's a long time. But it makes sense when you start off at 19.
Yes.
You know, it's like, so you got married around 28.
Yes.
About 28.
Yes,
that's how old I was when I got married. So you're 28 years old, and y'all were in a committed relationship. Were there any infidelity or cheating during that 9 years?
I can't really say commitment is a big word. So let's tone that down a little bit. Commitment is a big word.
We got to tone the word commitment down.
We do.
Y'all's in a relationship.
We got to tone it all the way down.
Okay, we're gonna tone it down to the nail. What we're gonna call it?
We're gonna call it a situationship.
Y'all was in a situationship.
We was in a situationship for a long time.
So y'all never. So when y'all after 3 days in love, y'all didn't say let's make it official.
We were technically official, but there was a lot of on and offs agains, right? In that, so that's why I say when we talk about commitment, we got to tone it all the way down. We got to go back to the elementary level of the word and start at the beginning.
Yeah, start at the beginning.
Okay. And yes, there was commitment at times.
At times,
but there was a lot of on and off again. Okay, and through college and even after college, lots of on and off again. And so leading up to our marriage, we were actually off. Right, we were actually off. We were living in North Carolina at the time, 2015, going into 2016, late 2016. We went our separate ways because there was other people involved, and there had already been other people involved even in college, right? And so
be specific. Other people, what you mean?
Other women. There was.
Did you ever have other guys that you were dating?
In college there was a guy, Fabian, who I was
you talking. Say the man's name. You didn't say the man's name. Fabian, mind his own business. He's watching the Dear Future White podcast.
He's not. He is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Okay. God rest his soul.
Yes, and so in college there was that, but it wasn't necessarily a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I actually had used him to I used him to set Derrick up because I was tired of him being with all these girls and catching him and going through his phone and watching him do all of his stuff with these girls. And I was working with this guy and I was like, listen, I need you to help me to get him back. And I want to set this up. We're going to make it look like we're, this great couple, like I'm cheating over here and all this. So he helped me. He was, he did. And
so what you do? So how'd y'all set it up?
So
what y'all
we had
do?
the same car.
Bro, am I hearing this, bro? Oh my God. Bruh. Are y'all hearing this, bruh? This man was been cheating on her since college, bruh. And even back then, she was just as delusional as she was recently. This woman had a guy pretend like they were in a relationship together in an attempt to win him back by making him jealous of her being seen with another guy. Bro, I've heard women do this so many times. I think I've even been that. Matter of fact, I have been that guy before. I mean, I didn't know. The only difference is I didn't know what I was signing up for, like this guy right here. This is crazy, bro. Exactly, Tiger 955. She definitely telling on herself. Jesus Christ, man. Crazy, bro. The Art of Will with the 499 super chat says modern women need to do more than to be on their hands and knees when they call out to God. Ooh, man. You know what? I agree with you 1,000% on that, man. Because Lord knows, Lord knows, I love some head. I ain't even gonna hold you. It's like he was showing you all the signs then, man. That's crazy, bro. And this just go to show you, bro. Derrick Jackson, he been a scammer from jump. You know what I mean? Based on this story that she telling, like Derrick Jackson, man, Derrick Jackson ain't shit, bro. I tell you, man. That man tried to come off so high and mighty, bro. Like, dude, you ain't no better than the guys that they used to talk shit about. Let's keep it moving.
We had the same type of car, which was a Subaru, one of those like Fast and the Furious type of cars.
Oh, you get one of those. You had some little money growing up.
Listen, my uncle is a car guy.
Okay.
Oh, what happened?
You know, this great couple, like I'm cheating over here and all this. So he helped me. He was, you know, he did. And
so what you do? So how'd y'all set it up?
So
what y'all
we had
do?
the same car. We had the same type of car, which was a Subaru, one of those like Fast and the Furious type of cars.
Oh, you get one of those. You had some little money growing up.
Listen, my uncle is a car guy.
Okay.
And so he gave me a car because I was a straight A student. Clearly, look at my pimples and my straight A's, right? And so he gave me a car.
Subaru. She was fly on campus.
I had a 2000 Subaru Impreza, and it was blue, and we had the same car. His was just like 2 years.
You said you and Fabian.
Yeah, we had the same car. So we were. I would set up times for us to go race, and we worked together. So clearly, I was at work when I wasn't in class. So there's that. And then I would set up times where like I would be like let's meet up at this place, and you know I knew Derrick would find out about it, and I wanted him to because I wanted him to pay.
You wanted him to be jealous.
I wanted him to. Like I've sat there and watched. I mean, literally looked through his phone and watched him have sex with other girls.
On the phone.
On the phone. Like I literally watched it. And so that was soul crushing, you know, at that time. This is well before we're married, but I've seen it multiple times, multiple girls, several, you know, this is just in college. We're not talking even about marriage.
After that, we're going to get there in a little bit. We're going to talk about straight college. How did we get here?
So there was a lot of anger and bitterness, and I never once really confronted him about it. I always kind of like sat on it and just buried it. Mostly I feel like now I'm looking back on it, it was a fear of rejection.
Yeah.
And abandonment.
Because you felt like if you spoke up, he was gonna leave.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I don't want him to leave me. Like, you know, so I have to just take this. But then at the same time, it was creating this deep-seated hatred and resentment and spitefulness. And so here I go, setting them up.
Man, listen, bro. Didn't I just talking about the fear of missing out? Let me tell you something, man. I'm going to tell y'all exactly why she did what she did, bro. Because deep down, that woman knew that she was, again, bro, she knows deep down that Derrick Jackson was out of her league. And she knew that this man had options. This goes all the way back to what guys like Kevin Samuels used to say, God rest his soul, all other RP content creators, bro. When women see that you have options, man, it makes them want you even more. Social proof is a real thing, bro. That's basically what she's telling you. And the sad part about it is she's seen this since college. Still married this man 9 years later and was still dealing with infidelity through all those years. All because she knew that he was on another level in comparison to her. Exactly, Global Passport Crew. I'm like, they just want to play victim, man, but you played yourself. You knew what you was getting into. You knew what you signed up for. Let's keep it moving.
And it worked.
Fabian. So how'd y'all set it up?
So we would be at work conspiring, and there's actually a group of us, right? We'll be at work conspiring, and I'm coming over, like let me come over to your house, after this, or I'm gonna come out late, or I'm gonna tell him that I'm with all the girls, but we're gonna like link up and do this. So he can I want him to see it. I want him to catch it. I want him to feel everything that I have been feeling with all these women, all these girls that he's been with. I want him to feel all of it. And I'm here for it.
And then what happened?
Well, years later, I was still dealing with the effects of it, because I never really like confessed to setting him up until like way later. Like,
so you and Fabian never did nothing?
No.
Y'all ain't kiss, y'all didn't do nothing.
No.
And so you just kept that lingering for years as if y'all already did something.
Yes. I wanted Derrick to feel all of it.
And so what did he catch you doing? Just walking out of his apartment one day?
I honestly, I don't know what he really caught me doing. He never really told me what he caught me doing, but I know that he's at least seen us doing some racing. I know he's seen us maybe like going to like a meetup point and all of that. So
he never confronted you about that and was like, I know you're cheating on me with Fabian.
Not in college. No, we're in marriage when we were dealing with unpacking that. And then he was like, you were cheating on your husband. And I was like, okay. Okay. Maybe I was emotionally cheating. Okay, I'll give you that. In college, 9 years before we ever got married. So I didn't cheat on my husband, but it was like, no, you cheated on your husband while we're in marriage. I'm like, no. You can't use that, because we weren't married at the time. So
did you have an emotional affair with old Fabian? Did you like him?
No, I did not. I was dealing with some severe heartbreak, like the things that I seen Derrick doing with other women at the time, and I was really attached to him. And then you have to think I was coming off of that rape trauma.
Yeah.
And so I never dealt with, that I never talked to anybody about. And so there was a lot of turmoil that I was having. I wasn't thinking about, oh, Fabian is this guy that I'm trying to be with. I'm thinking, how am I going to get this guy back? But then at the same time, I don't want him to leave.
Lose him. Yep.
But
you want him to feel the pain, but don't lose him.
Right. And it's like, what?
But then you're not even speaking up about what you saw.
Exactly. Right. So these are all the issues that I brought into the relationship. Lack of communication.
And the fact of not speaking up was the same thing that you practiced when you were sexually assaulted.
Exactly. So it just carried over. And I didn't realize the power of not speaking about the rape trauma until well after the fact. And I'm like, wow, what did I get myself into? Right? And now I'm practicing toxicity, right? I'm practicing toxic behavior and cycles with holding things in, not talking about it, and then either being passive aggressive or just super aggressive, but nothing in between. And then he has no idea what's going on, because he doesn't know what I'm freaking out about.
And what you done seen,
right.
What prompted you to start looking through his phone?
I would always get like a feeling, or he would touch me different, right? So after most rape victims are very sensitive to touch. And so any sign of him touching me, any type of any different, I'm like, there has to be somebody else. There has to be.
You're
right?
talking about with a change of a touch.
With a change of a touch. There has to be, right? And so I would go snooping around, because I'm a snooper. And when you seek, you shall find. That is a true biblical verse. So if you don't believe in the word of God, listen, let me tell you, when you seek, you will find. And when you find, you have to know what to do.
And what's so bad about it, people will find something, but then they won't do nothing about it.
Exactly.
Because they weren't prepared to leave.
And that was me.
You was like, I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna bust them. And then like, what you gonna do? Because you're not gonna even tell them that you busted them.
I did absolutely nothing. Sit there, cry. And okay, this is how I'm gonna get a little bit serious, right? Okay. I would seek, and I would sit in closets and cry, and I would be in there wanting him to find me in the closet crying. And when he would come and find me in the closet crying, then I would say, I'm just crying because I miss my dad. I would blame it on something else. And it would always mostly be about my dad. Like, oh, I'm crying. But it's really because I just sat here and watched you have sex with, or, right? So.
No, Danae, that ain't no real people name, is it? I don't want you throwing people name out here.
Okay. So we're just gonna keep on going.
We're gonna make fake names up. Okay.
We're gonna making all kinds of fake names up.
Okay.
Right now. All fake. All fake names.
All fake names.
Okay.
Stop the cap.
So you will watch him have sex with Sue.
Yeah, and Sue and Jane and Jade and Sheila. That's a fake name, right? I don't know.
That's a fake name. That's not a real person.
Seriously though, I would sit there and watch that, especially in college. I would literally sit in closets, or I would sit on the side of the dresser and be crying, and I would be there, and I would stay there in that space until he came back, from wherever he was, and he could find me, and then he can console me. But he didn't really know he was consoling me about his indiscretion as opposed to the lie that I told him. Right. And so all of that is toxic behavior. And I had to go back and really deal with that later on once I started to realize that, hey, Janae, you are not well. You are not okay. And really deal with why I was doing that and unpack it. So.
And so on again, off again, situationship, commitment, lack thereof, 9 years, you go through this. And you said right before y'all got married or got engaged, y'all wasn't even together. Please help me understand that.
Yeah. So before we moved to Atlanta, we were off. We got off because he was dealing with some girls and things like that, and it was a issue. And at that point, I was very hostile and all that towards him. Just like, I'm not gonna deal with this, and you're a F boy and all these things, right? I had some different kind of choice words and language at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lord saved me, my mouth. Thank God for deliverance.
I think a lot of people give you a pass on whatever word you decide to use back then.
But no, at that time I had asked him, I was like, do you believe the things that you're saying, right? Because this is at the beginning of his career really taking off. And I'm like, do you believe the things that you're saying? And it really caused a rift. And so we were off. And so that time that we were off, we were still messing
because
around.
You questioned whether or not he believed that which he was sharing with the masses on avoiding F boys and that type of stuff. Y'all fell out because you asked him if he truly believed what he was saying.
I asked him that. Yes. It was a big thing, and we did fall out. Along with the fact that there was actually other girls at the time, and so it was just all too much. And so we end up ending that, and then we both end up moving to Atlanta. Right. From there.
How y'all keep moving to the same place?
Soul tie. Listen, people underestimate the power of a soul tie.
Yep.
And it's a soul tie. And I had no idea what that was at the time, and neither did he, right? And so
it was like, who would move there first? Did you find yourself following after him, or
no. So we had actually planned to move there prior to, because we were living in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time. We had already planned to move there, but there was so much. I had caught him with some other girls. The girl actually reached out to me, sent me their conversations and their pictures and all this stuff. And I was freaking out on him. And then we're like, okay, this has to end. So we had already planned to move.
So at this time, you were 27?
We were early 20s. Yeah, so about 24, 25. 25.
All right. So y'all lived in Raleigh around that time, moved to Atlanta.
Yeah, we moved to Atlanta, and we had already had that in the works. I had already transferred jobs. We just hadn't made the move yet. So it was just,
y'all gonna move together at first. Right. Even though y'all not in a committed, we're gonna use that word loosely again. Were y'all in the
we were in technically a committed relationship when we were in Raleigh, North Carolina, living together.
When y'all was making the plan to move together.
Right. When we were making the plan to move together, we were moving together as a unit.
As a couple.
But we ended up falling out before then. And so while the plans were still on to move, I had already transferred jobs. He already had whatever he had going on. And so made the move. My mom came down and she helped me drive down to Atlanta. I had my own little space. Anyway, we were still engaging sexually, even though we were off, right? And so it was in this time where there was a lineup of us. We was passing each other on the stairway in and out.
No, y'all wasn't. No, y'all was not passing
you think this is a game.
You were not passing each other on the stairway. No, y'all was.
We were passing each other on the stairway. Like, this is my shift from this time to this time. So,
Bruh, this chick was literally part of a rotation. Bruh, this is so sad to watch, bro. This woman literally just admitted that she was part of a rotation, man. She was part of his rotation, bro. Bruh, man. And the fact that even after all this, Derrick Jackson still has like 700 and something thousand subscribers. Because I know he used to have more than that. But, obviously he's lost subscribers for obvious reasons. But the fact that he still even has that many after all of this coming out, man, it just goes to show you, bro. Everything we talk about in the RP space when it comes to female nature and women is 100% true. Because if these women were who they really say they were, Derrick Jackson should have damn near no subscribers based on everything that she's telling. I mean, he's basically been scamming y'all for God knows how many years now. This man has been projecting himself to the masses of women for years, and these women ate it up, and they just thought he was so innocent, bruh. This man ain't no better. If anything, this man is worse than the men that he tried to hold accountable. This is what in the hell am I watching, bro? This woman is hey, bro, I'm mad, bro. This woman was part of a rotation. She literally saw the last chick that he was screwing and passing, bro, to go see this guy. This is crazy.
I was a willing participant in that, and this is like, I can laugh about it now, but it's really sad, to like, what space do you have to be in to accept that? And so I dealt with it already, so I could laugh about it now. And it's funny,
that's what
but it's
like.
Right?
You look back at your old self and laugh.
I'm just like, what? But yeah, no, seriously. It was, I'm coming over at this time. I know such and such is going to be rolling through about, an hour and a half later. And sometimes we went a little bit longer. So literally passing each other on the stairs, like out the door. All right, have fun, your shift.
Wow.
And
oh my God.
Literally. And so there was a lot of people involved at that time. We weren't in a relationship, so all the people that like committed relationships. So I was just on the rotation at the time, and I ended up getting pregnant with our first child. And it was in that I was like, okay, Danae, you got to figure out what you're doing with your life. You are whole pregnant, and you can't get rid of this child, because I had already had 3 abortions before, and the Lord had already dealt with me. And I was like, Lord, if you save me from this, I'm not going to ever do this again. Got pregnant. I was like, I can't go back on my word, Lord. I don't want you to kill me.
Damn, hold on, man. She just unpacked a lot. Hold on. She had 3 of them things before she got pregnant. Oh my God, bruh. The Art Wheel with the $4.99 super chat says social media made it easier for strays to get treated like Baskin Robbins. She's going to get served with over 31 different flavors of Wow. All I keep thinking is that, damn, Derrick Jackson was talking so much ish about men, bruh. In reality, it was all a projection, man. I mean, because think about how long she was with this guy, and she already had 3 unalivings done. And then when she got pregnant, during this rotation, she was like, "Oh, okay. Look, I can't go back on my word. I got to keep this baby." This is nuts, bruh. I cannot believe. Damn. You know what? I was just thinking that, Joe. I was just thinking that, man. Thank you for that super chat, Art of Will. I was just thinking that, Joe. For real, that's what it was. I'm pregnant. I'm tired of being in this rotation with all these other girls. Man, let's keep it a buck, man. She, like I said before, man, she knew she was out of her league when dealing with him. That's why she put up with all the other women, bro. Because more than likely these other women was probably just as attractive, if not more attractive. She knew what she was getting into. Let's keep it moving. It's great.
Yeah.
But so I started, okay, I got to figure out what I'm doing with my life. And then I started getting a little bit more serious. Like, what are we doing? He was still doing, stuff with other girls. I knew about it. So I did still participate in some sexual activity and all that, knowing that he was with other girls. I was a willing participant. But it did start to take a toll on me mentally and emotionally because I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a lot of women involved in that time. And it was in that time that I had a conversation with his mom. And I was like, listen, I don't have another 7 years to give him. I'm trying to figure this out. And like, I want to be with him. I want to do this, but I don't have another 7 years to give him. So he has to figure out what he wants to do. And then shortly after that, I'm getting a call from my mom, and she's like, I just got a call from Derrick asking me for your hand in marriage. I thought you were not in a relationship. I was like, we're not. We're doing this co-parenting thing, And she was like, okay, so what are you going to do? And so I actually knew about the engagement, which he didn't know about, but I actually knew about the engagement and all that because my mom told me about it. She was asking me these questions because she was like, I thought you weren't in a relationship. And I'm like, we're not, And so I had to figure out, okay, he's being serious. He called my mom.
Did that make you excited? How'd you feel?
I was so excited because I'm like, he called my mom. My mom and him, like, they don't
mess with each other.
No. And so he humbled himself. He called my mom and asked for my hand. I mean, she's serious about me. It's meant to be. Absolutely. So excited. And so, yes, I was so excited about it.
To be.
Yes, he called my mom. You don't even know what that means, right? He called my mom. They don't even get along, first off, like that. So that meant a lot.
Why didn't they get along?
I left my phone in his car when I first met him, and he called her, and that conversation didn't go well. So ever since then, it's just been like a battle between them, and I've kind of been in the middle of it, and it created a lot of anxiety in the relationship. So I actually isolated from my family a little bit and just kind of was doing my thing, being grown and being involved with his family mostly.
And so
hold on. Because Frank Tate just made a valid point, and this is what I'm talking about, bro. This is why I put out that video recently of what women respond to versus what they say they want is two completely different things. And she's a prime example of that because you wanted a loyal man, but look what you responded to. Look what you was putting up with. Yeah, Jamal, like real talk. Yeah, man. Valid point. Let's keep it moving.
Tip that he's going to propose. How did he propose?
All of our family was there. All his family was there. My mom and my brother flew in, and we had like a little housewarming party because we had just moved into a new house. And
so y'all got back together then. So after the tip off, how did he come back around and say, hey, can we be back together?
So my lease was up in my apartment, and so we were actually technically still off, but I didn't have anywhere. I'm like, if my lease is up, I'm not about to renew it, so I'm either going back to Denver or I'm coming to stay with you. I want you to be here for the baby's birth. And it was right around the time that she was going to be born. So we need to figure this out. So I ended up moving in basically with him in the house that he was in. And we never really officially said like we're back together. It was just like implied we're back together, So there's never a conversation like, yes, we're doing
we
this.
Go together, circle yes or no.
It was just like we're
together.
We're together. And so that's how that happened. And then I got the call and I was like, okay, we're together. And we're rolling with that. And it felt great. I was all on board with it. I was excited. He called my mom.
He called your mama.
What?
Humility.
Right. And so that's how that happened. And so all of our family came in and we were celebrating this housewarming because we just moved into this new house. So the plot was, we're celebrating the housewarming, but everybody else knew, hey, engagement, but little I knew too. And so he had this song play and it was like right before midnight, and it came on and he gets down on one knee and he's like proposing to me, and I'm like, oh my God.
It was all this pain I went through.
Yes, it's paying off.
Yeah, it's paying off. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
All
you
the
thought
joy.
that was your morning.
All the joy. Yeah. You know the bragging that I did, Mrs.
My man.
Mrs. Jackson. Okay, Mrs. Jackson. Okay, if you're nasty, that was my thought.
That's your thought
right?
process.
Listen, I got saved.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
But yeah, the bragging that I did, right? And so it was great. Like it was like everything is coming. I'm having a family now. I'm gonna be married. I had our baby already. She was 2 months by the time that happened, and she had this little "Will you marry me?"
Are you talking about, so when he proposed, you already had the child?
Yeah, I had our baby. She was 2 months old. He had her in this little "Will you marry me" bib. It was great. Like everything was involved, and it was great. I loved it, every aspect of it. And it's like, this is everything I wanted and been asking for and dreaming of my whole life. And just through this relationship, and I won out of all these women.
You about to say another word?
That's what I was waiting on. That's what I was waiting on. I knew she was gonna tell on herself. I knew it, bro. I knew it, bro. Well, let me put that in here now, man. So that way it's on the screen. I apologize. I mean, based on some of the verbiage that she used, they probably gonna try to put this in the yellow anyway. But as long as the show is relatively long and certain words are spaced out, we should be good on Finance Man. But man, she told on herself, man. What did I tell you, bro? How many times have I told y'all about social proof, man? Women want a man that chooses them over other women because this man has access to other women. She literally just told on herself again, you guys. Again. Again, bro. Like real talk, man. She just told on herself again.
The Lord is bridling my tongue. I am. He is bridling my tongue. I won out of all these women, so here I am. So it almost gave me like this false sense of confidence and accomplishment, right? Yeah. And so, but you couldn't tell me that at the time. So.
And at the time, we put this in perspective. You're about what, 28, 27?
Yeah, I was like, right. I had just celebrated my 28th birthday.
Yeah. And so you're 28 years old. And then, so now, how long did it take from "Will you marry me" to "I do"?
It was right at a year. So we got married January 13th, 2018. And that was a long year before marriage. There's a lot of stuff that went on in there. We tried some marital counseling. We did not finish that. There was,
You said premarital counseling?
Premarital counseling.
Y'all didn't finish our premarital counseling?
No.
Why not?
There was a lot of issues that arose. So as we were doing the counseling, I started to come out with a lot of the hurt that I was hiding from from college days. I started to come out with that and how it made me feel. And it was a lot, I think, for him to handle all of that.
He was like, oh my
these
God,
are
how
things,
you know all this stuff?
right?
He's like,
How do you know? Right? How did you know? But then also like, why are you just now telling me
and
about
you still
this?
here?
Right.
Like, you know all that, you still
right. And so it was a lot for me to just like be like, and you did this and you did that. And I feel like I did do a lot of shame and blaming in communicating all the things I had been holding on to. So it was a lot for him to handle in that time. But anyway, it was all of that. He was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So we never finished. And then, and then here we go in the marriage. So,
so you said, he said, I'm not going to finish marriage counseling, but we're going to continue going on with the wedding.
It was looking a little bleak at first, right? Because at that time I went back to the gym and started working out. And then I had a male trainer. And so then at the time that we're going through premarital counseling, then it's like, oh, you're talking to your male trainer, and you're having a relationship with him. You're trying to hide it from me. And I'm like, I'm all these things. And so I'm like, I'm not trying to hide this from you. Like you see him, we go to the same gym. You can have a conversation with him. His wife is a trainer at the gym too. Maybe I should have asked for his wife to, like, I didn't even choose the trainer, but basically it became an issue. And so then that became the focus, as opposed like me having a male trainer, and what I'm doing over here became the focus of the conversation.
And be clear, did you have anything inappropriate with the trainer?
I did not.
And did he ever like say, well, you need to have a female trainer then?
He did not, but I took it upon myself. I went to the little desk and was like, hey, I need to change trainers. And then the trainer was like, well, did I do something wrong? Whatever. Can we have a conversation? I was like, it's nothing that you did wrong. It's just, I got to do what I need to do. And I need a woman. And so then I got another trainer, Serena, and she got my whole life together after that. But yes, that became the focus. There was a lot of issues that came from that, and pretty much triggered the toxic behavior in him, to where now we have all these things going on in our marriage. So
but now I'm not making this as an excuse, but all I'm doing is just connecting the dots. The reason why he started acting like that was because when y'all went to therapy and you started spilling the beans on everything that you did in college, I'm like, now Derrick Jackson started having a little paranoia. So when this male trainer came along, Derrick Jackson felt some type of way. Dude, this is just so funny to hear, bro, because everything Derrick Jackson had bad to say about men, he's done this himself. This is hilarious, bro. Like, man, you talk about being a hypocrite, man. You really can't make this up. Let's keep it moving.
Chaz, you said triggered what? You said that triggered what? To accuse you of infidelity, to give him a pass to cheat on you?
Essentially, like, so me bringing up all these things, and then him feeling or accusing me of having this relationship with the trainer, which I did not have, but allowed him basically like, okay, I'm being like in his mind, I'm being disrespectful, I'm being unappreciative. He's done all this changing and actually asked for me to marry him, and here I go, just bringing up all this stuff from the past, and
would you say he was on his best behavior during that time?
Define best behavior. Okay. So if we're talking about, so we have to define best behavior.
Okay, we would define it as not messing with other women at this point.
Okay, we're gonna have to define that too. Okay, so listen, I'll put it this way. Were there women that he had still had contact with in some way, that he's had a sexual relationship with or some sort, those people were always there. That he was always constantly having at least a minimum a dialogue with them.
Okay.
Like if they were friends.
And was it discussed that he would no longer have those conversations with people in whom he had sexual relationships with?
No, so that wasn't discussed until after I left the marriage for 8 months. That wasn't discussed until after that. So, but going into marriage, no, there was not really a dialogue about like, hey, all these people that you've had a relationship with or whatever in the past, like all of them need to cut out. You ain't no friends. There was no dialogue about that. I didn't have any boundaries
Right.
or barriers.
I didn't even know what that was.
I didn't even know what a boundary was.
Exactly.
Like, what is that? I didn't have any standard or like, I didn't even know that was a thing that you can actually request or not even request, that you implement, you know? So, yeah, I had there's none of that. So was there people that he had at least at minimums conversation with that he has had sex with or has some type of dealings with? Those people had always been there at minimum in conversation form. As far as having a sexual encounter, to my knowledge, there wasn't a whole lot going on. But then again, not too long after our marriage premarital counseling failed, he met up with
Don't be saying no names
a relative. I wasn't.
Okay.
I was bridling. I was thinking.
Met up with Shaniqua Thomas,
right?
And,
a relative, and supposed to like a distant relative. It's like one, like, you know, their cousin married my dad, so that's my cousin type of thing situation. But like a relative, essentially claiming as a relative, they met up, but this is somebody that he had a conversation or like sexual conversations with and things like that in the past.
Sexual conversations. They ain't had sex.
He says that they had never had sex. It didn't go past their sexual conversations and things like that, but they did meet up not too long after the marital counseling.
The premarital
counseling that we had. So
you don't know what happened. If anything happened, they just met up to
right. So outside of that, I don't know. When something did happen, let's see, that was like a couple weeks before we got married. And I didn't even think we were going to get married because it was such a big blow up. And so he got his hair cut by a girl that he used to have sex with, and she posted a picture on Instagram with hearts. He was standing behind her, and there's hearts surrounding them, and I lost it on him. I lost it. I did not use any kind of biblical words at all. And I didn't even know biblical words at that time. So I lost it. And, you know, at that point, it kind of triggered, like, he was like, you don't trust me. Like, you're supposed to be able to trust me. Like, I'm not even I needed my haircut because I'm trying to make a living for us. Like, this is important. There was nobody else available. And I'm like, you didn't even tell me about this. At minimum, you tell me that you have to get a haircut, and you didn't even do that. Not only did you not do that, you hid it from me. You sent the haircut appointment confirmation to the work email, and I'm running your emails. What kind of right? And so it was at that point where I blew up, where I was like, okay, I need to get help. I got to figure out myself. And I actually got therapy. I got 3 therapists.
You got 3? Why you need 3?
I needed all 3. All 3 of them. I got
one of them miss something, the other one pick it up.
Exactly.
And miss something.
Yes. And I did that for about 3 months until I settled on one. And then I was with her for about 1.5 years. Yes.
So you said this was a couple of weeks before y'all said I do?
Yes.
And then after you got over that, y'all just decided to go ahead and get married at the same time. Y'all didn't change the date 2 weeks later.
Yeah, no, we did not change the date. We still got married 3 weeks later. We did it. I was pregnant actually with our son. Nobody really knew I was pregnant because I wasn't really showing that much. And I didn't tell a whole lot of people.
So you're pregnant with the second child?
Yes, our son. And so yeah.
And so now you get pregnant. It's a trip. You're getting pregnant in trauma. It's like the first time you got pregnant, you're passing women down the stairwell or passing them as you leave. Y'all making y'all D appointments. Yeah, and right. so then you end up getting pregnant. You said 8 o'clock. That was your standing appointment. 8 o'clock. On what day was it?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You know, listen, before that her song came out about, you know, only on the weekend, listen, there was already that was already going on.
That was already going on in your
I
life.
had to renounce that. By the way, that is not okay behavior. I do not endorse that behavior. I'm just testifying.
You're testifying right now. And so you had your stand-in appointment, and then you end up getting pregnant, and then I don't know what motivated him, but he will have to tell that story of what made him decide, well, let me marry her.
Yeah, I'm not sure what really prompted him.
Was his family that told him that? He always promised himself that he'll never have a kid out of wedlock? I don't know what his journey is.
Well, I don't know like all of his story, but from just some conversations that we had, it was like when we were in college, I always said that I would leave and go back to Denver if like certain situations happen. I'm leaving, I'm taking the baby with me, and I think that scared him. So I think it was like, okay, he's living his best life, and I'm sitting up here allowing it, right? Because I'm a willing participant, and now and so he's almost in fear that I'm going to leave because now I've sat down and had a conversation with his mom, and I'm like, I don't have 7 years, additional years to give him. I'm tired of doing this life.
And you know his mama told him to say, baby.
Right. And and I believe she did, because he brought that up to me like, man, you told my mom this. And I'm like, okay, your mom clearly told you that. So cool. So clearly there was a conversation, but I don't know that necessarily that motivated him per se. But I think it was a combination of like his mom told him what I said, and then whatever I said in college, where I'm like, I will leave you or whoever I'm with, I will leave and take this baby with me and go back to Colorado, have my mama and my people out there help me raise this child. We've been doing it, that mentality.
Yeah.
And he was like, he can't have that. He wants to be involved and all that. So I think all of those at least played a factor into it.
So basically, she just told on herself again and pretty much just said that she used the baby as a pawn to manipulate him to do what she wanted him to do. She literally just told y'all that, you guys. Oh, if this X, Y, and Z don't work out, then I'm gonna take the baby and leave back to Denver, Colorado. She used the baby as a bargaining chip. She literally used their child as leverage to make this man fold. On top of having a conversation with his mom. Bruh. This is what really pisses me off, man. Oh, Jay Fleming, what's going on, brother? I see you in the building. I'm over here. You know what? I'm done, bro. I'm done. X-ray Pookie, I'm done. I'm done. I'm like, seriously, I'm tired. I'm tired. Don't worry about y'all. X-ray Pookie. I got him the hell up out of here. I'm not about to deal with that. I'm gonna go ahead and let the rest of this play because it's only about another 15 minutes or so left.
So now you're pregnant. People don't know it. You're walking down the aisle. Y'all just dealt with some stuff 3 weeks prior. You have reason to believe that this other woman that you already know he messed around with, she's posting stuff for the world to see on Instagram, hearts around it. He behind her, they taking this picture. He tried to hide the actual haircut appointment. And so you already suspect about that. You get married that day. was that a day of wedded bliss? Were you happy that you try to put everything behind the veil and said, I'm going to put all the past behind us. We're going to start afresh. We're going to start anew. And I am now Mrs. Jackson. Call me Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Yes. All of the above. Now, I was so excited to be getting married. And again, my mentality at that time is where like, I'm getting married. Everything is like my dream wedding.
And I won.
I
won.
won.
Out of all of y'all.
And so everything is falling into place. The only agitation I had was because I was pregnant and I was hungry. And the wedding timeline sometimes, you be hungry. And I'm like, I'm pregnant. I'm actually 6 months pregnant at this point.
You were 6 months?
6. And nobody could really tell. Like people were like, "Are she pregnant or is she not pregnant?" Like that's how it was.
6 months.
6 months. So I wasn't necessarily showing as much as I could have. After that, though, I was like, people were like, "What happened?"
You got your honeymoon, boy.
Right.
Y'all was lit.
Right.
I don't know what y'all did on y'all honeymoon.
Right. And so that day, though, it was great. Like it was like everything was coming into place. Outside of course, like I said, being hungry, and then with a little bit of agitation because he had already been pre-gaming with having a couple of drinks with his friends, the best man. So I was upset first off because I can't drink and I could taste the alcohol in your breath. You
may not kiss the bride. You like, God, it tastes like Jack Daniels.
Right, exactly. That's the first thing I said. I was like, you been drinking, and pregnant women, they like have a sensitivity to every like smell and taste. And like, is that what year is that? And so,
oh God.
But no, it was great. It was everything that I could have dreamed of in that moment.
So after that, was everything going great for a period of time? Was there a period of time of wedded bliss? Don't say define what wedded bliss is.
Okay, no. We're not gonna do that then. So
wow,
wedded bliss.
Was it happy? Was it like, oh, he stopped? He ain't. I'm not threatened by other women that he's bringing into the relationship.
No.
We're good. He's thriving. He's doing these car videos, and he's thriving, inspiring millions of women across the world. And he's treating me the same way as what he's telling other women to accept treatment as. He's honoring me as his queen. I'm his wife, and he's treating me accordingly.
Okay, so no. No, it was not. And I wish it had been. But so after that, we went on our honeymoon. That was great. Even at the honeymoon, it was like he was on his phone a lot. And so, I felt some type of way about that, but I like, whatever, he has to work because, look at the life I'm living, I got caught up in like, oh, I never experienced anything like this before.
Explain what that, because people don't understand what you mean by that life. What life are you living?
Okay, so there is a life of glam and riches and fame. Like when you have some status, it comes with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with access to stuff. It comes with like this extra treatment. It comes with money. I had not experienced any type of level of that. And I'm like, I've been all them Disney movies paying off. I'm living the life of the rich and famous. Look at him. He's fine and he's doing this. And I get to stay at home. And like I was a whole Atlanta housewife without being on the show. Right? Whole out here. And so
a whole Atlanta housewife.
With
no show.
No show. Behind the scenes. Right? No status.
And
right?
so you were running the business though, right? You were doing the back end stuff?
Yes, behind the scenes. I was doing the customer service. I was hiring people for his team, adding people on there. All of that. I had to get some help. I hired a couple of people to like help take some things off of my plate because there was so much. He was growing so fast with all the different aspects of it, of his business. But no, it wasn't just marital bliss. There was a lot of women that he was still at minimum having conversation with, and that I caught him with, and I was just like, this cannot happen.
When you say caught him, you caught him having a conversation?
Yeah, it's like he's literally texting them while we're in the bed. I'm like, why is this name in there? Why are you still talking to her? I thought I had told you how I felt about this, and this is where I had still in a toxic way but I had started being a little bit more vocal on the toxic side of saying, hey, this is not okay. Essentially, I was expressing at the root of it, this is not okay. And I feel some type of way about it, but it wasn't in a healthy way. I could have done it a lot better than what I did. But there was that. And then with that, it was like, you're insecure, I have to do business. These are business people. I built these relationships. I'm like, well, nobody told you to mix business and pleasure. So if you have business with them, that means, guess what? You need to cut all business ties. This is not a relationship that you can have, right? And so that caused a lot of just friction, and it became, I'm insecure, I'm unhealed, people change, but I need to figure out my own stuff, which, I mean, those things are true. I was insecure. I did need to figure out some things like within myself to be more secure, and at least to come to him assertively and be able to communicate in a more healthy manner. But it still did not pacify or negate the fact that these conversations in these relationships should not be existing. So there was both of those dynamics happening at the same time, and I didn't have the words or the tools to be able to really navigate that the best way that I could have.
So to be clear, at this point, what year are we talking about? Year 1 or 2?
This is the first.
So the first year,
months, the first year,
first couple of months, you hadn't caught him. No more videos in his phone, sleeping with nobody. Nobody sending you videos and pictures that he had been cheating on you. Just inappropriate conversations.
Inappropriate conversations at this point. A lot of them. And so, I mean, there were so many to where I'm coming off of just having a baby, right? Or having our second child. I had severe postpartum actually with both children. So just think of all the trauma that we're unpacking already that never really dealt with. Severe postpartum where I was on medication for like 8-9 months on medication, and going to the medical therapy that I had to go through just for being on postpartum depression. So all of this stuff is happening, and it was in that time where apparently more of the conversations and transformed into more than conversations. And I didn't find out about it though until, months later. But that is around the time where those conversations became more than conversations again, and started to be physical things. So
we're going to stop right now, and we're going to come back.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and stop. Just a quick question, man, just for the chat, man, because there's a part 2 to this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want me to react to part 2 tomorrow. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want me to. If y'all don't want me to react to part 2, put a 2 in the chat. Yeah, I just want to see a quick gauge, man. But this is really sad to see. Like, she oh my God, bro. I can't believe this, man. Like, are you serious right now? So you mean to tell me? See, and I think this is the reason why a lot of people think that these two are scamming, because she knew all along what kind of man he was. So much so that she was helping him out with his business. And this man didn't even match the kind of man that he claimed to be. But you went right along with it. Yeah, DMV Lexa, I'm with you on that, man. I'm starting to think she a little cuckoo in the head my damn self. Because for you to put up with this, knowing that this is the image that he's portraying to the masses, and you knew all along behind the scenes that he was nothing like that, but you continue to help him run this business. Oh, and from what I'm hearing, they're still together, you guys. So after hearing everything she had to say, I wouldn't be shocked if they still together in real life. And now she's over here now she's out here selling courses for like $7,000 and trying to capitalize on this drama here. Crazy, bro. That doesn't make any sense to me, man. And this is why I think people think though these two are scamming. This man Derrick Jackson has been scamming women for years, apparently. And she played her part in it as well. And now she's over here trying to do the same thing he did and scam women into paying for her course on how to quote unquote leave the toxicity, when in fact, from what I'm being told, they're still together. And from what she just testified to, she couldn't run away from it her damn self. And a big part of the reason why is because, like I said at the top of the show, fear of missing out, and she knew that she was punching out of her class, man. She knew it. She knows it. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, bro. But yeah, it looks like most of y'all don't really want me to react to part 2, so I'll leave it alone. I'll figure something else out for tomorrow. I was thinking about going back to some passport bro travel type of deal for tomorrow. Saw a few videos that I think would be real good for you guys, some informative stuff, something a little bit more beneficial. But I wanted to react to this because this has like been talked about in this space for about the last week or so, and it was getting a lot. It was a lot of negativity, towards their way. So I wanted to cover it, unpack it, see what it was all about. And now I see why everybody thinks the way they think of this couple, because based on everything that she said, it looks like she knew who he really was the whole entire time. And even though he was portraying himself as somebody else, he was not that guy. And yeah, Herman Edwards, you're right. At the end of the day, that's what it was all about. It was all about the money, man. It was all about the money. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. We're going on a little over an hour and a half. As you guys know, I try my best not to make these too long, because I know how guys are, and I know myself, I got a lot of content up. But I appreciate you guys that support and continue to watch. Hit the like button, share my videos with others. I appreciate you guys so much. Everybody that sent the super chat, Arta Will, Dakotas Jenkins, appreciate you guys. Much love. All right. But yeah, man, this is crazy, man. I can't really believe that. Yo, this woman is a character, bro, to say the least. Like, it's just really, really sad, man. And because once you understand female nature and things like social proof, and understand what women respond to is different from what they say they want, when you learn all these different aspects of female nature and you hear stories like that, it really doesn't, it's really hard to have any empathy for these women, man. And that's the reason why they think we hate them. It's like I try to say, it's not that we hate women, it's just that we understand y'all now. But y'all see it as hate because there's no empathy behind it anymore. There's no sympathy for you anymore, because at the end of the day, we can't control the decisions that y'all make. We can't control your actions. But at the same time, we're not going to sit over here and play stupid just to spare feelings either. Because we don't see men, our feelings sure as hell don't get spared, do they? Oh man, bro. I appreciate you guys. All right. And as always, y'all know how we ride out, G. Appreciate you guys, man. Deuces.
Yeah.